everyone, this is Amynah, and today I will be reading a book about the life cycle of a mosquito. What is a mosquito? A mosquito is a tiny flying insect. Insects are invertebrates or animals that do not have backbones. Like all insects, every mosquito has 6 legs and a pair of wings. There are more than 3,000 species or types of mosquitoes. They live all over the world. About 200 mosquito species live in North America. Tough stuff. Mosquitoes are best known for their buzz and for their bite, but there is much more to learn about these amazing animals. They have lived on Earth since the time of dinosaurs. In order to survive, mosquitoes have adapted or become suited to changes in their environment. So many mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are found all over the world. They almost always would live near water. Many mosquito species live in places that are warm, shady, and damp, such as swamps, forests, and jungles. Mosquitoes can also be found in parks, on farms, in cities, and in your backyard. A few species live in very cold places, such as the Arctic, but they are active only during the warm summer months. Some species live in deserts, but they are active only when it rains. Mosquitoes up close. Every mosquito's body has 3 main parts. The head holds all the sensory organs or parts that sense light, sound, heat, and odor. The thorax is the middle section of the body. The wings and legs are attached to the thorax. The abdomen is where a mosquito digests or breaks down its food. The diagram below shows some of the differences between male and female mosquitoes. Each mosquito has 2 large compound eyes. They are made up of hundreds of tiny lenses or viewers. All mosquitoes have antennae or antennas. Antennae are feelers on their head. A female's antennae are slender and have only a few hairs. A female mosquito has a thin, long proboscis which she uses to suck blood. Mosquito relatives. Mosquito belong to a group of insects called true flies. A true fly has 1 pair of wings, a small body, and a mouth with sucking parts. Crane flies, midges, and gnats are also true flies. A male mosquito. A male's antennae look like feathers because they are covered with tiny hairs. Every mosquito has 2 wings which are made up of scales or small segments. Colored marks on the abdomen provide camouflage. Camouflage helps male and female mosquitoes blend in with their surroundings. What is a life cycle? Every animal goes through a set of stages or changes called a life cycle. First, it is born or hatches from an egg. The animal then grows and changes until it becomes an adult. As an adult, a mosquito can reproduce or make babies. All mosquitoes go through these stages during their life cycle. Lifespan. An animal's life cycle is not the same as its lifespan. A lifespan is the length of time an animal is alive. Mosquitoes can live as long as 5 or 6 months, but few survive that long. Most live less than 3 weeks. A mosquito's life cycle. A mosquito brings its life inside an egg. A baby mosquito called a larva hatches from the egg. As the larva grows, its cuticle or skin becomes tight. The larva then molts or sheds its cuticle. When the larva is fully grown, it molts for the last time. The larva is now a pupa. Its body changes completely during the stage. The set of changes that take place in its body is called metamorphosis. Once its body is finished changing, the pupa's cuticle splits open. An imago or new mosquito emerges or crawls out. It will soon be mature. Mature mosquitoes are able to mate or join together to make babies. After a female has mated, she lays her eggs. A new life cycle begins with each egg. Inside the egg. Every mosquito begins its life cycle inside an egg. Most mosquito eggs are laid in water. Some mosquito species lay their eggs in places that will soon be immersed or covered by water, such as dips where puddles form. The eggs look like tiny seeds as they float on the water. They stay afloat on air bubbles at the water's surface. Embryo to larva. As soon as an egg has been laid, an embryo or developing baby starts growing inside. The embryo develops its head pointing downward. The egg hatches after a few days. Most eggs that are laid at the same time also hatch at the same time. The larvae or larvas that emerge from the eggs then begin the next stage of their life cycle. Tucked in tight. If the air outside grows cold, embryos may delay their development inside their eggs. Cold temperatures usually mean that winter is coming. When the temperature drops, the embryos become dormant or inactive. A blanket of snow helps protect them from wind and ice. The embryos do not become active again until winter passes. When the weather warms up, they continue growing. Little larvae. When a larva emerges from its egg, it swims downward 1 or 2 inches or 2.5 to 5 centimeters before bobbing up to the water's surface. The larva does not look like an adult. Its long, thin body is covered with hairs. The hairs help keep the larva steady in an up and down position in the water, as shown below. Hairs also help the larva sense movements around its body. Larvae must breathe air in order to stay alive. Many species breathe by poking their tails out of the water. There are air tubes inside the tails. The larvae use the air tubes to breathe the air above the water's surface. A few species do not have air tubes. They must get air in other ways. Some attach their tails to plant stems and breathe from air bubbles inside the plants. Time to eat. A larva must eat a lot in order to grow. To feed, the larva waves the bristles or hairs around its mouth. The bristles move through the water, sweeping food toward larva's mouth. Larvae eat tiny plants and animals as well as other particles or pieces of food floating in the water. A new skin. The larva eats as much as it can grow to grow bigger. Its cuticle does not grow, however. When a larva becomes too big for its cuticle, it molts. A new cuticle is ready under the old one. Each larva molts a total of 4 times. After a larva has molted, another larva eats its old cuticle. A pupa transforms. When a mosquito larva molts for the last time, it becomes a pupa. The pupa's cuticle is soft at first, but it soon hardens. A mosquito goes through the biggest changes of its life while it is a pupa. Curvy critters. The pupa does not look like a larva. Its body is now curved. Its head and thorax are joined to form a cephalothorax. A cephalothorax floats near the water surface. 2 trumpets or breathing tubes are attached to it. The pupa must rise regularly so that the trumpets poke above the water. The pupa can breathe air only when the trumpets break the water surface. Getting around. A pupa's large eyes detect movement above and below the water's surface. If the pupa senses movement nearby, it moves out of the harm's way. The pupa tumbles down through the water by flicking its abdomen, which looks like a tail. The segments or sections of the abdomen are movable. Special parts on the last segment help the pupa move through water. What is going on in there? Inside the cuticle, the pupa completes metamorphosis to become an adult mosquito. Its body parts dissolve or break down. Adult parts such as the exoskeleton, wings, and organs form. When metamorphosis is finished, an imago has formed inside the pupa's cuticle. The imago then stretches out below the water surface. Its cuticle splits open and the imago emerges. An adult emerges. At first, the body of an imago is very soft. The imago must stay hidden until it is finished growing. It flies to a sheltered place as soon as it is able to, usually about half an hour after it has emerged. After another day or two, the imago has completely matured. During the last stage of its life cycle, the mosquito is no longer able to live underwater because it can no longer swim. Instead, it can fly. Sweet nectar. Before long, the adult is ready to look for its first meal. Male and female adult mosquitoes feed regularly on fruit juices and nectar, a sweet liquid made by flowers. Females of many species also need to eat a special meal: blood. See pages 20 to 21 for more information on why some mosquitoes need to drink blood. Keeping warm. Adult mosquitoes are less active in cold weather. During the winter, some species hibernate. Mosquitoes often hibernate in sheltered places such as animal dens, hollow logs, and even the basement of buildings. Ready to mate. By the time a mosquito is a few days old, it is ready to mate. Mating usually takes place at daybreak or at sunset. In some species, male mosquitoes form a gathering called a swarm near a swarm maker, such as a building, a tree, or even an animal. When females find a swarm, they fly into it one by one. Their wing beat, or the sound of their beating wings, let the males know that they are female. Many males approach the same female, but only one mates with her. Mosquito mates by joining their abdomens. Sperm from the male's body then fertilizes the female's eggs or causes babies to grow inside them. Females usually mate only once in their lives, but males mate as often as they can. Moving to the beat. A mosquito's buzz is the sound its wings make as they beat back and forth to fly. Depending on the species, a mosquito's wing beat 250 to 600 times per second. Male mosquitoes use their antenna to detect a female's wing beat. Males have been known to swarm machines that make noises similar to the wing beats of females. Mosquito bites. After a female mosquito mates with a male, her eggs are fertilized. Some mosquito species need to eat a special meal before they can lay their eggs, however. As soon as a female from one of these species has mated, she sets off to find a blood meal. Animal blood contains the nutrients or food energy she needs for her eggs. When the female finds an animal to bite, she lands on it. She uses 2 pairs of stylets or cutting parts to break the surface of the animal's skin. She then pushes her proboscis into the skin to find a blood vessel or a tube through which the blood moves. The probing proboscis. The proboscis has 2 tubes. The mosquito sucks up on the animal's blood through one of these tubes. The mosquito's saliva enters the animal's blood vessel through the other tube. The saliva stops the animal from clotting or thickening. Blood that does not clot flows easily while the mosquitoes drink as much as she needs. Excuse me. A full belly. It takes less than 2 minutes for a mosquito to fill her stomach with blood. A full stomach makes the mosquito's body heavy, so it is difficult for her to fly at first. When she is able, she flies to another surface on which to digest her material. The mosquito then finds a safe place to rest for a few days. During this time, her eggs grow inside her body. She leaves her sheltered resting place to eat nectar only a few times. Laying eggs. When a female is ready to lay her eggs, she finds a good place for laying. All species of mosquitoes lay their eggs in or near water because the eggs need to be covered with water when they hatch. Some species lay eggs on moist ground that is regularly covered by water. Most species, however, lay eggs on the surface of standing water or water that is still. Ponds, marshes, pools, puddles, rain barrels, bird baths, and clogged gutters are common places for mosquitoes to lay eggs. Egg rafts. Females of some mosquito species lay their eggs one by one and set each egg afloat. Other species attach their eggs to plants. Many mosquito species create egg rafts. The rafts are made up of 100 to 300 eggs. To create a raft, a female holds the egg between her legs as she lays them. Some species guard their egg rafts, but most set the rafts afloat and never see them again. Once in a lifetime. Most females die shortly after they lay eggs for the first time. A female that survives longer, however, can lay more eggs. She may store some sperm in her body after mating. The sperm can then be used to fertilize more eggs. Before she lays the new eggs, a female must eat another blood meal. A dangerous life. Mosquitoes are faced with many dangers during their short lives. Many mosquitoes do not survive past their first or second stage of their life cycles. Eggs are often destroyed before they hatch. Larvae may not get enough food to eat while they're growing. Some larvae and pupae or pupas dies if the natural condition in which they live are spoiled. Larvae and pupae are eaten by many predators or animals that eat other animals for food. Their predators include fish, birds, tree frogs, snakes, and spiders. Danger everywhere. Predators are constant danger to mosquitoes. Mosquito fish feed on larvae underwater. Other predators such as the water striders hunt from above. If a larva detects a water strider approaching, it wiggles down into the water to hide near the bottom, but it is not yet safe. Whirligig beetles, another type of predator, dive into the water to catch larvae that are making their way downward. A meal of mosquitoes. Adult mosquitoes are a favorite meal of many animals. Ants often make a meal of mosquitoes that are resting after eating a blood meal. The nutrients in a blood-filled belly are attractive to predators. Bats are also excellent mosquito hunters. They use echolocation, or the ability to locate objects using sound, to find mosquitoes at night. Watch out. Mosquitoes that bite humans can be dangerous if the mosquito carries diseases or serious illnesses. Many diseases are caused by parasites or animals that live inside the bodies of other animals. If a mosquito feeds on the blood of an animal that has a disease, the mosquito also drinks the parasites that live in the blood. The parasites do not make the mosquito sick, but the mosquito may become the parasite carrier. It passes the parasites into the blood of other animals that it bites. The parasite may then cause diseases. Getting sick. Not all diseases can be carried by mosquitoes, but many are. Mosquitoes can spread malaria, yellow fever, dengue, encephalitis, and West Nile virus. West Nile virus and a few types of encephalitis are found in North America. There are treatments, vaccines, and cures for some of these diseases, but many people and animals continue to suffer and even die from them. How to stay safe. How do mosquitoes find their blood meals? How can you keep from being bitten? Mosquitoes use their senses to find blood meals. For example, did you know that the movements such as swatting at mosquitoes can make you an easy target? Mosquitoes smell a chemical called lactic acid that is produced by moving muscles. Mosquitoes also smell carbon dioxide, a gas that is exhaled by animals when they breathe. The scent of this gas is heavier than air, so it sinks toward the ground. A mosquito flies low so that it can catch these scents on its antenna. You cannot stop moving or breathing to avoid mosquito bites, but there are some things that you can do. Beat the bite. The following tips are important if you spend a lot of time outdoors. Be on the lookout for mosquitoes when you are outdoors. Mosquitoes see dark colors better than light colors. They also sense heat from your body. Wear light colored clothing such as a hat, a long sleeve shirt, and long pants. If your skin is covered, your body heat is harder to detect. Avoid spending time outdoors at sunrise and sunset, when many mosquitoes are most active. Ask an adult to help you apply insect repellent. Wash off the repellent when you go indoors. If a mosquito bites you, wash the bite with soap and water. Place an ice pack on the bite. Ask an adult to apply calamine lotion or another anti-itch cream to help stop itching. Vinegar may also help take away the itch. Always remember to tell an adult if you have been bitten by a mosquito. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of that book. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you again very soon with another interesting book. Till then, take care.